I'm Amanda Castor with Material Girl Quilts. I'm here today to share a tutorial for this sweet interweave quilt made with pre-cut 5-inch squares. It's beginner friendly, comes together quickly, and finishes at 42 inches by 46 inches. It's the perfect last-minute baby shower gift. So let's get started. To make the interweave quilt, you will need 2 5-inch stackers or charm packs, and you will also need a solid 5-inch charm pack. For this quilt, I chose New Dawn by Citrus and Mint Designs and a white background fabric. If you don't have a solid charm pack, you can use 1 yard of fabric. And for each of the print squares, you will be cutting them into 4.5 inch by 5-inch rectangles. Now, on the pre-cut squares, as you can see, they have pinked edges along the side. You want to make sure that you line up the line on your ruler with the outside of the pinked edges. So we will line it up at 4.5 inches and cut off this 1/2 inch strip. Then we will turn our ruler and cut this into 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangles. You will do this for each of your print squares. For your solid charms, you will cut this into each one of them into 4 2.5 inch squares. So again, we will line up the line on the ruler with the outside of the pinked edges at 2.5 inches. Turn our ruler, line it up again at 2.5 inches, and trim, and that will give you 4 2.5 inch squares. Now to make the block, it's a very simple block. You will take one of the 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangles and one of your 2.5 inch squares, and you will sew them right sides together along the short edge. And that will give you your completed block. Also, after you complete your blocks, you'll want to press them towards the dark fabric, towards the print fabric. That'll help when we sew our rows together later. You will end up with a total of 161 blocks, and when we lay this out and sew them together, each row will have 7 blocks for a total of 23 rows. Now when you're laying these out, each row the blocks will go in the opposite direction, so I'll lay a few out to show you. The first row, we have our white square to the right, my right, your left, and the second row will go in the opposite direction with the white square over here on my left and your right now. So as you can see, if the rows go in opposite directions, that's what gives us the interweave pattern. Now, after you lay all of your blocks out into 23 rows of 7 blocks, to sew your rows together, here's 2 completed rows I have. As you lay them out, again making sure they're going in opposite directions, and you sew right sides together. And I like to, if we have pressed all of our fabrics towards the darks, so we pressed towards the dark when we attach the square, and then as we sew each block together, we again still press towards the dark, then that will make it so that our seams will nest together nicely. And I like to pin mine, and then you would, at the next matching seam, they'll nest together, pin it again all the way down, and sew your rows together. So again, that is a total of 23 rows of 7 blocks. Underneath this video, you will find links to the pattern and fabrics I use for this quilt. I would love to see your interweave quilt. If you make one, please tag me on social media at Material Girl Quilts or use the hashtag #InterweaveQuilt. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future tutorials or tips and tricks. See you next time.